astrology a spiritual practice? Astrology definitely has undertones of spirituality because you're literally connecting the movement of the planets with the events on Earth. And there are also elements of divination, and you could say the entirety of astrology is divination, and that's a bit subjective, but we also have horary astrology, which is straight up divination. But does that mean that astrology is a spiritual practice? Not really. Astrology has a system that is not found in a lot of different practices. It's a mix of math and geometry and astronomy and philosophy and psychology and so on. And because of that, I've always thought of astrology as its very own subject. It definitely has elements of divination, elements of spirituality, and even a lot of subjectivity at times. But it still is a subject. There's a foundation, and there are layers to this subject where you start with the basics and then you keep going deeper and diversify your knowledge. And in that sense, I think astrology is very different from a lot of other spiritual practices because you can't just go off of vibes. You can't just say whatever comes to your mind because you could be wrong. You can't just say that the sign of Virgo is ruled by Jupiter because that's just inaccurate. Whatever system we have in astrology has a basis to it. A lot of it comes from mythology or just people's understanding of nature. And if you actually bother to get into it, you will realize that there's an explanation for everything. And that explanation is not purely anecdotal and it's not purely based off of one person's experience. So if a person is calling themselves an astrologer or they're talking about astrology, but they don't know what they're talking about, it will be evident. It won't just be a difference in like viewpoints or perspectives or philosophies. It will simply be bullshitting. So in conclusion, astrology can definitely involve a spiritual practice, but at the end of the day, my opinion is that it is a subject and it should be treated as a subject where we respect the foundations of the practice even as we evolve and form new perspectives, and we don't just say anything for attention.